Hi guys, this is Ackles and welcome back to the Acolyte channel. God, it feels good to say that again. I've been away for 5 or 6 months, and the reason for that is I had to adult. During lockdown I started this channel because I wanted to grow a YouTube channel, I wanted to do something I love. But then obviously when lockdown started to fade down a bit, I had to go get a job again, and balancing a full-time job with recording and editing, it just wasn't working out. But I'm back, I've got a few days free, so I'm going to do a video today. Hopefully it'll be something you like. It's going to be a little bit different to what I usually do, okay, because like I said, this is primarily a gaming channel, and I've done 1 or 2 Fortnite bits, but I want to focus on anime mostly. So I've already done videos, like I've done a whole series of Attack on Titan Wings of Freedom. I'm working on Attack on Titan Final Battle, which is an excellent game. It's just, I've got the job doing that, so I need to get back into doing that, which I will do soon. But for today, I thought I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I want to go over basically some of my mangas, because that's anime. It counts. Yes, it does. So yeah, basically I want to talk about some of my mangas, see if you guys think the same way about them. I'll go over them, what I've got and how I rate them. If you like this kind of video, I'll do more of it. If not, we'll go back to gaming, that's fine. But to kick off, I'm going to start off with basically the mangas where I've only got issue 1, whether that be because I bought them and just didn't think I wanted to get the rest, or just because I haven't got them yet. And to kick that off, let's start with the 7 Deadly Sins. Now, before I go further with this, I should actually say there probably will be spoilers. I don't want to say too much about the main story, especially any massive events, but there will be spoilers for all of the mangas I talk about today. If there's any mangas that you want to skip to, or there's some that you just want to avoid, I'll put a timestamp to each specific one in the description below. But, back to 7 Deadly Sins. So I fell in love with the 7 Deadly Sins anime on Netflix. I binge watched it in a few nights. Seasons 1, 2 and 3. Haven't seen 4 and 5 yet. I need to get back on that. But because of that, I thought I want to add the manga to my collection. And with issue 1, it was a case of, it is more or less exactly the same as the anime. It isn't one that strays too far from it, not in the early stages anyway. The only reason I haven't got issue 2 yet is purely because I have had other mangas that I'm collecting that kind of overtake it. It is definitely one that I want to continue getting. The manga is finished. There are 41 in total. I believe that finished in March or May. Which, I'm not going to lie, I prefer to get them when I know how many I'm getting. So the fact that it's ending, yes, it's 41, but I know that there's going to be no more after that, which means I know how much it's going to cost in total. But yeah, with 7 Deadly Sins, definitely a good manga, definitely a great anime. I will be collecting it, but it's not at the top of my list. Okay, so the next manga that I'm going to talk about is Blue Exorcist. Now, Blue Exorcist, the only reason I've got 1 issue is because I have very little interest in collecting anymore. Me and a friend of mine made this agreement, which I'm actually doing with another friend of mine now, but we'll get to that later. We had this agreement that once a month we would just recommend a random manga to each other, and no matter what, we'd have to get it. And he recommended to me Blue Exorcist. Now, brief rundown of the story. He's a teenage boy, he lives with a priest, and it turns out he's a demon. Now, I know that's not a big description of it, but that's literally all the interest I had in it. I can see the appeal. I watched 1 episode of the anime, and the anime was definitely more entertaining to watch than the manga was to read. But I would rate this quite low in my collection because I just have very little interest in going forward with it. I am aware, I think it's still going forward. I think there's 27 so far and it hasn't ended yet. But I won't be getting issue 2, so I'm not too fussed about issue 27. Okay, so we're on to number 3, and number 3 is King of Hell. Now with King of Hell, this was actually recommended to me by another friend of mine, Shane. He basically found his old manga collection. He got me into Warhammer, which is this lot behind here. He got me into that, and in return I got him into manga, and he found his old box, and King of Hell was amongst them. And he recommended it to me, and when I first started reading it, I got about 2/3 of the way through, and it was of very little interest. It was mostly reading it out of a case of a friend's recommended it to me, I'll give it a go. But by the time I got to the end, I had already been looking into getting the next issue. It's one of them that starts off slow, but it definitely has promise to progress. It actually has a very Dragonball feel to it. You got this immature kid who is from hell, and he's going around, and you can it does go into saying how he does have hidden power that can get a lot stronger if it's released. Now, in Korea, there's 47 of these, but they actually shut down the American publishing part when they had issue 22. So I'm not sure if we can get past issue 22 in English. But this is one that I definitely will be continuing to get because it's such a good story, and it's dated, it is old, but in a good way. One other note that I probably should add about King of Hell is the fact that it's a manga, but it's the wrong way. Well, technically for us it's the right way, but because it's the right way, it's the wrong way. Mangas you're meant to read back to front. However, King of Hell, it's forward, which was annoying because it doesn't go right on my shelf. But anyway, enough said about that. Let's swiftly move on to our next manga, which is Sword Art Online. Now, Sword Art Online is quite a popular name. Quite a lot of people already know about it, but with the mangas, it's not like your normal manga, where you have issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and this happens, and it's an ongoing story. With Sword Art Online, it's actually more of random little stories put together. So there's massive time jumps, there's things that kind of happen out of nowhere because it's not an ongoing story. Now, I love the anime. However, it is one of them things that I will binge watch and then stop for ages. Now, with this manga, this is basically all of season 1 and 2, I believe. It covers that entire section. And reading it, I read it all within a day because I just couldn't put it down. It's not something that I'd probably pursue getting the rest of, because, I mean, I love Kirito, I love his sword. I actually want to get his sword and hang it on my wall. However, as much as I do love the story, it's not something that I'd go out of my way to pursue, probably just due to the fact that there's a lot of other things I'd rather get first. But for this one manga, I do love it, highly recommend it. It's actually I've probably read this one twice as well, because it is such a good read. I think with the others, I'd rather watch the anime than get the mangas though. Okay, and finally in my list of the one-off mangas I've got, we're going to end it with Dr. Stone. Now, Dr. Stone, again, love the anime. I'm up to date on the anime. I've seen everything that's happened there. And I've already said I had two friends, one that I'm doing it with now and one that I used to do it with, who would recommend a manga to each other. Now, he was the one that got me to watch the anime. And I think I watched a few episodes and got bored of it. And he pushed me to do it again. No, go on, keep pushing. So I did, and excellent. It was slow to start off with, but it got really good. And it was never one of them things that I wanted to get the manga for. So I didn't. But then, years later, my friend Shane, we've done it differently, where we recommend a manga and we both get the same one. And because he recommended it, as per the rules, I got it. And I'm glad I did, because the manga is such a good read. It's fun, it has a very similar feel to the anime, it doesn't strain away, and again, in early stages anyway. It is still ongoing. There's currently 19 issues at the point of recording this video. I'm pretty sure I will continue to collect them, because one, I want to know what happens next in the anime and I hate waiting, and two, it's just a generally good one. It's a good read, so I highly recommend that one. Okay, so that concludes my one-off mangas. Now I'm going to have a little look into the collections that I've got, because these are obviously the ones that I know a bit more about and I've been collecting for longer. And we're going to start this with One Punch Man. One Punch Man is stupid, but in a really good way. You've got this hero Saitama, who can quite literally defeat an enemy with one punch, to the point where he's bored. He's bored out of his mind because no one can stop him. He is the strongest hero and he doesn't actually feel anything anymore because of how strong he is. I watched the anime years ago, and I've got the anime because I genuinely love One Punch Man. It's one of them things that I can watch over and over again, and same with reading. There are 23 issues at the moment, and it's ongoing, so it's not ending anytime soon. I currently have up to issue 15, which basically covers from season 1 to halfway through season 2. So season 1 is issue 1 to about 7 or 8, and then after that is season 2 and onwards. Now the issue with season 2 is that it's owned by Hulu, so it's really hard to actually find it. I managed to find it on Crunchyroll, and anime fans out there who are divided in this opinion will not like me for this, but I prefer to watch anime with English dub. I'm sorry, I know I can feel the hate comments filling in, but I do. I prefer to be able to listen to what they're saying as opposed to read it. I will do it if I have to. With season 2 of One Punch Man, I had to go on Crunchyroll and it was in Japanese. I don't mind it, I just prefer it in English. It's also why I like the mangas, because then I can just read it and know exactly what's going on. I will definitely be collecting this into completion. One Punch Man is one of my favourite mangas that I've got. Highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't already followed the story. Okay, so next up, another one that I haven't collected too many of yet, but I definitely am going to finish, is Deadman Wonderland. Deadman Wonderland I first saw on Netflix. It was another one where I saw the anime first, which made me want to get the manga. There is only 13 issues. And it is complete, it's finished, done, no more. So I will definitely be collecting the rest. I currently only have issue 1 and 2, and I think once a month I will be collecting at least 2 more of these so I can complete it quicker. What this is, basically, you've got a young man who got framed for something he didn't do, and then they have the power of blood that can cause all kinds, weapons, fireballs, anything like that, and this is all through their blood. And the Deadman Wonderland is the name of a theme park. Prisoners go there and for entertainment are murdered for the enjoyment of society. That's all I'm going to go into with the story, but for the manga, obviously I'm not sure yet, but apparently the manga is so much different to the anime. The ending is so much more emotional. I've also heard that there wasn't going to be a season 2 for the anime, so the anime ends kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it, there's more to come, but this is where it is. They're not actually going any further with it in the anime, so I need to read the mangas to know how it ends. Definitely recommend this one. That's all I'm going to say about that one, because I haven't gone that much further with it yet. Highly recommend it. This next manga, I've actually collected the 1 and 3 books because they're so much cheaper, but this one is YuGiOh. Now, I've actually loved YuGiOh since I was a kid. I grew up watching the anime, I grew up playing the games, I still have all of my deck. The 2 decks I actually use is Red Eyes, because that was mine as a child. And then as I'm a bit older and YuGiOh has evolved, I now use the Goki deck because they're so overpowered. They're brilliant. But that's the anime and the card game. We're here to talk about the manga, which is so much different than any other YuGiOh episode there is. In the manga, Yugi, the pharaoh, is almost evil. He plays these Shadow Realm games where people get set on fire and they stab themselves in the hand. It's kind of brutal. In fact, for the first few issues, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards aren't even a thing. It's so different to the anime. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's close enough that if you like Yu-Gi-Oh because of the anime, you'll enjoy the manga. But don't start reading it assuming it's going to be the same thing. I'm pretty sure there is another one, it's Yu-Gi-Oh Adventures or something, that follows the anime a bit closer. But the manga is its own thing, and it is amazing. I currently have up to issue 9, so that's basically 3 books, 9 mangas in total. In order to collect the rest, I'd need 10 more, obviously 3 for each, and then the last one has 2, making it 38. I definitely will be collecting them, it's just obviously the time it takes to do so. Next up we have, wait, hold on, no, I'm wearing the wrong hat for this. Much better. So, next up we do have Pokemon. So, with the Pokemon mangas, I have 2 box sets. I have 1 to 7, which is the red, blue and green, and then I have 8 to 14, which is gold and silver. Now, with these mangas, I will always get the box set because I prefer to have the box sets. They look neater and tidier. Won't lie, not my favourite. The anime, growing up as a kid, I did enjoy, and I've even rewatched them multiple times as well. The mangas are very different in the sense of, I know there's one part where you've got 2 Pokemon battling, and one of them's an Arbok, and it genuinely gets cut in half. There's a lot more murderous intent as well, so yes, it's still for children, but there's definitely some adult content with it. It is a manga that I struggle to read, in the sense of I have to really force myself to read them. I read, with the second box set, between issues 13 and 14, the last 2, there was such a big gap, because it's one of them mangas that I will only read if I have genuinely nothing else to do. The story is good, but it's just a bit, it's not for me, I guess, which is a bit of a disappointment, because I love Pokemon, I grew up on Pokemon, I religiously will get and play the games as well. The mangas are just a bit tedious for me. I'm not actually sure how many there are at the moment, but they have box sets for each game going forward. I will get them eventually, but it will genuinely be a case of I will only get the next box set if I've got every other manga that I currently want. So if you're a fan of Pokemon, I would recommend them, but it's definitely not at the top of my list. We're now going to look at another box set, and that box set is Dragon Ball. Now, I am a massive fan of Dragon Ball, have been since I was a kid. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, don't mention Dragon Ball GT. Ugh. But with Dragon Ball, it is very much like it is in the anime. The anime does do a lot of filler as well, so one little panel might be 3 or 4 episodes in the anime. I do have the anime as well. I'm trying to convince my partner to watch them. We're getting there, she's close. But with the manga, it was rereading my childhood. So if I open this box up, you can see all of the mangas here. So you've got issues 1 to 16, and there is a little poster with it that is on my wall currently. Now, when reading them, it is, like I said, like reading my childhood again. It's such a good story, it's funny, it's got some good action in it, and obviously it is quite dated, much like One Piece. It is one of the original 3. I know that it is more considered to be Dragon Ball Z that is the original 3, but originally Dragon Ball was from when Goku was a kid to the end of the Buu saga. It was all Dragon Ball. It wasn't called Dragon Ball Z until after. So if you get the original Dragon Ball mangas, it is all the way through. Now, like I said, I've got all of Dragon Ball. I will be getting Dragon Ball Z. It's just a case of it's about £100 to get the box set, and I refuse to get them individually. I want the box set so it looks neat and tidy. So I will 100% be getting them. It's just quite a bit of money. Need to save them pennies up. For any anime and or manga fan out there, I do highly recommend Dragon Ball. It's a really good read. It's an easy read as well. It's nothing that's too overly complicated. It's just a good story. Now, as it is Dragon Ball and it is old style manga, there are a few raunchy bits in there. So if you're a young child, make sure your parent knows what you're doing beforehand. It isn't exactly adult-like, but there is a few little adult bits in there every once in a while, such as mild nudity. But everyone knows what Dragon Ball is, so if you're a big fan, definitely pick this up. For this next collection of manga, I do need to go get changed, so I'll be right back. Hi there. If you're thinking this doesn't fit, you are 100% right. It is so tight. Anyway, as you can see, I'm wearing the Wings of Freedom. This is for Attack on Titan. Now, Attack on Titan was actually an anime that I started watching due to the fact that I couldn't sleep one night. So I thought, I'm just going to put some random thing on, Attack on Titan, that looks stupid, I'll stick that on so I can fall asleep. What instead happened was I stuck it on and I stayed up for 40 so-and-so hours watching from season 1 to 3 without a break, because it was that good. I started to collect the mangas very shortly afterwards. There are currently 34. I'm not sure if it's ended. I know it's ending. I know the final chapter's been released, but I don't know if it's 34 or if there's going to be 1 or 2 more mangas to finish what hasn't been printed as a full book yet. So with the mangas, I collect the box sets, and they actually run via series. So season 1 covers the mangas from 1 to 4, season 2 covers from 5 to 11, and season 3 covers from 13 to 22, and then obviously anything after that is season 4. Hey guys, Ackles from the future here. So I made a slight mistake with that thing I just said. With the Attack on Titan box sets, it's actually box sets 1 and 2, which is season 1. Box set 3 is just season 2. Then box set 4 and 5, as I said previously, is season 3. Sorry for the mix-up, but whilst I've got you here, before we continue, I want to do a little shout-out to my friend Louis. He's a cosplayer and a good friend of mine. I'm going to post a few pictures here of his Instagram account. So this is his Instagram here. As you can see, he's got 205 followers. Let's see if we can up that number for him. He is a good friend of mine and he does tons of cosplays, Deku being his favourite. However, at the moment, he's doing a lot of Rick and Morty. So if you like that, go see his Instagram, see what he's got. He has got a competition running at the minute. Go see his page for more. I'll leave it in the description below. Back to the video. Massive fan of these mangas. There's a lot of information in the mangas that aren't in the anime. One thing that I'll give you a brief rundown of, and obviously spoiler alert, is in the anime you see Levi coming to save Eren, and that's the first time you see Levi. In the manga it says where they was up to beforehand. Now they're walking through and they find a book, and it actually says how there was a scout who saw this Titan, and it wasn't trying to kill her, and when grabbing her it started to speak and it said Ymir, which is the first time you hear that. In the anime you don't hear about Ymir until season 3, or maybe halfway through season 2, I'm not sure. But it's saying about this Titan is basically acting as if it doesn't want to be a Titan, and it starts ripping its own face off. The scout starts to run away, and then read on to find out. Okay, so there are quite a few bits that are quite different. The final fight scene in season 1, where Eren just goes mental over the female Titan, in the manga is actually more calm, and it's actually the village people that help as opposed to just Eren going mental. So it's more or less the same as the anime, with subtle differences and a few little bits added in here and there. It's one of my favourite mangas, one of my favourite animes. As well as that, I convinced my partner to like it, and she loves it too. Like, I'm getting her into anime, and Attack on Titan is helping me do that. I would rate this 10 out of 10. It is probably my second most favourite manga that I collect. I will be getting the next box set when it's available, because I don't like getting these individually. I want the box sets, because you get these cool little things with it. You know, in the first 3 box sets you get stickers or a poster, and in part 1 and 2 of season 3 you get these extra stories, which I haven't read them yet, but I will do that. Every manga I've read. I just haven't read the side stuff yet. I'll get there. But yeah, highly recommend this one. Definitely get it. And before moving on to a different series, I want to talk about another Attack on Titan manga. So the other Attack on Titan manga that I have, Before the Fall. Now this is really good. It's basically, I think it's set like 75 years before Eren was born. And it goes into some more religious views on the wall, and you've got this boy who was born inside of a Titan in a sense. Well, not quite. His mum was pregnant with him, was eaten by a Titan, and then when the Titan spat everyone back out again, the baby was born. So she was born from a Titan. I only have 2 issues of this so far. There's 15 at the moment. I'm not sure if it's finished yet or not, but I know there is 15. I will 100% be finishing this collection because it's so good. It doesn't quite compare to the original Attack on Titan, but it is still a really good read. And it's something new, because obviously I've watched the Attack on Titan anime. I haven't watched Before the Fall because there isn't an anime for that. So if you're a fan of Attack on Titan, definitely pick up Before the Fall, because it's the same but different. Does that make sense? Yeah? No? Maybe? Cool. Moving on. So for this next manga that I want to review, I do need to get changed again. There's more to do, so give me a bit more time. I'll be right back. Hello there. Hello there. Right, you know what? I can't do this with my mask on. One sec. Okay, this is my really poor attempt at Kaneki. Yes, this is a Shoto wig on its side, but this is to talk about Tokyo Ghoul. So Tokyo Ghoul is another anime that I watched before reading the manga. I fell in love with it instantly. I'm not a massive fan of Tokyo Ghoul Re, which is seasons 3 and 4, but the first 2 seasons absolutely love. Now with the manga, I had heard from a lot of different fans that anyone who loves the manga hated the anime, and I'm not saying I agree with them, but I can understand why, in the sense of, in the anime, you've got this kid, Kaneki. You live in a world where ghouls and humans kind of live alongside, but they don't know who ghouls are because they fear them, and Kaneki becomes a ghoul. I won't go into detail into why, but he does. He kind of adapts on how to live with it, and then at the end of season 1, things get real, and then season 2 comes about, and you see what happens afterwards. So when it comes to the manga, there were 14 in total. This is not including Tokyo Ghoul Re, this is just Tokyo Ghoul. Now this basically covers the first 2 seasons. Now season 1 is from issues 1 to 7. That's kind of faithful to in the anime. You can kind of see, yeah, this happens here and it also happens there. In season 2, which is 8 to 14, it just takes a completely different direction. Now, I don't particularly mind it. It was quite good to read and have a different take on it, obviously the manga being the original. But I can see why anime fans who like things to be the way they are didn't like season 2 of the anime, because it was so different. Now, I will be getting Tokyo Ghoul box set. It is by no means at the top of my list of my priority list. It's pretty low down, to be honest with you. But it is one I will be getting, mostly because I'm a bit of a completionist, but also because it is a good read. And just because I didn't like the anime, the Tokyo Ghoul mangas might be better. It's just the anime wasn't really my cup of tea. Definitely one of the big ones. Massive fan of Tokyo Ghoul in general, and I would highly recommend it. I've just done all of this for one little video. We have got one more series to look at, and I need to go get changed again. So, one more. Let's do it. And we're back for the final lot. I was kind of wrong when I said that we got one more to do, because we've got a few more to do, but it's in the same genre. And that is, of course, My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is actually the one that kind of revitalized my love for anime. I was always a fan of Pokemon, Digimon, Dragonball, YuGiOh, all of that stuff back when I was a kid. And I watched the occasional bit of anime from here to there, but I wasn't really into it to the level I am now. Until a friend of mine recommended this to me. And he was kind of, oh, you need to watch it, and I couldn't be bothered. And then one day I thought, you know what, why not, I'll give it a bash. And I was up all night watching all of it, because I couldn't sleep doing it. I remember I messaged him at like 6 in the morning, why have you done this to me? I haven't been asleep all night because I've been watching My Hero Academia. The manga to anime kind of connection is mangas 1 to 3 is season 1. And then from 3 to 8, you have season 2. Season 3 runs to about 14, give or take. And then season 5 starts around issue 19, and then obviously ongoing. I fell in love with the manga straight away, and it's this manga that got me into buying the rest that I've already got. I watched the anime up until season 3, which is when I started collecting the manga. So anything after season 3, so basically all issues after issue 14, because I currently have 28, which is how much are out at the moment, was brand new to me. So I was reading it without knowing where it was going. It is by far my top of my anime list. I love it. I would recommend this to anybody. I've tried as well. I had one friend I recommended it to, but I gave him the movie first, and the first movie isn't that great, in my opinion. The second one, I saw that in cinema, and that was amazing, but the first one, I feel like was a bit weak compared to the anime, and when I used that to recommend it to someone, they didn't like it, so that was my fault. With My Hero Academia, it's not ending anytime soon. There's currently 28 issues, 29 will be coming out shortly. Highly recommend it. Now, staying on the topic of My Hero Academia, we also have My Hero Vigilante. My Hero Academia Vigilante is kind of a take on what it would be like in a more realistic way if we all had powers. So it's got some more adult themes to it. It's definitely got some more violent themes to it. It's set 3 years before Deku, or at least before Deku got his powers. So you do see people like All Might and Eraserhead and Endeavour, people like that, and it's, as it says, it's vigilantes, people who are trying to be heroes without having their license. There are 10 issues so far. I have up to issue 10. Issue 11 will be coming out in November, I believe. I'm not going to say it's better than My Hero Academia, but it's definitely not worse. It is they're parallel to each other, but in different ways. And as well as that, being that there is no anime of this, which there really should be, being that there's no anime of this, there's nothing spoilt. It's not a case of, oh, I've seen this already. Everything I'm reading is new, which just makes the experience of getting a new one that much greater. If you're a fan of My Hero Academia, definitely pick up Vigilante. It's so good. Another spin-off to My Hero Academia we have is My Hero Academia Team-Up Missions. Now, this is fairly new, and there is only issue 1, or last I checked, there's only issue 1. This is basically exactly what it sounds like. You get a bunch of different heroes, whether they be students or pro heroes, and it's just them teaming up on random missions. It's nothing really linked to the main story. It's just silly little stories on what would happen if these people teamed up with each other. I will get the next one, if there is a next one, purely for the fact that I am that big a fan of My Hero Academia, and it was not a bad read either. It's not something I'd pick up if I wasn't a fan of the other parts of the genre, because it's not a big story, it's just what-ifs kind of thing. But no, if you're a big fan of My Hero, definitely pick it up. And the final manga I have to talk about, which I'm kind of sad I've ended it on this, but it's My Hero Smash. What My Hero Academia Smash is basically bloopers. If you like, they're silly little snippets. It's nothing special. I think there's 5 of them, and I only have 2 myself because I have very little interest in getting them. I will still get them purely for the fact that it is My Hero Academia, but it's not entertaining. It's just silly little snippets of bits. I mean, if that's your thing, definitely recommend it, but it doesn't hold anywhere near the same level as entertainment as any other manga, let alone the other My Hero ones. Now, the last thing in total that I would like to mention is My Hero Academia School Briefs. Now, the reason this is last is because this isn't actually a manga, it's a book. I have 2 of them. I believe there is, again, 5. I will be getting the rest because I generally enjoy reading them. They're not mangas, like I said, they are storybooks, so it is a full story of what happens in between times of the anime. So issue 1, for instance, is what's going on with the students during the sports festival, but the parts that you don't see, so what's happening in the background. And it is actually a really good read. If you're not a massive fan of books and you prefer manga because it has pictures, then definitely don't get this. But if you like the story and you like reading in general, definitely get it. It is just a really good read. Okay, so that's all my mangas that I've got. I hope you enjoyed this video. I need to take this wig off, one sec. Ah. Much better. Ignore this. I'll wash this later. Yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too long and boring. If this is a kind of video that you would like me to do more of, do let me know in the comments below, because I actually enjoyed doing it. It's something nice to do when I haven't got time to work on a full game series. If there's more in-depth descriptions you would like on any of these mangas, let me know. I could do a video based off one series. And if there's any other mangas that I haven't already got, do let me know in the comments below. I know I want to try things like Death Note. I definitely want to give a read to Death Note. And there are quite a few others that I wouldn't mind giving a try. Demon Slayer, for one. And being that I've already got 2 of the big 3, I suppose I should try Naruto, because I haven't ever seen it. I know, don't judge. Well, I say that. I've recently watched like the first 2 episodes, but I haven't ever watched Naruto. And as big as an anime fan as I am, I feel like that's a failure on my part. So I will get to that. But if there's anything else that you would recommend, leave it in the comments below. I'll give it a go. Okay, but that's all for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one. Cheers, guys.